G'day fellas, welcome commanders. Today we are taking place in our first Season 3, official Season 3 game. Well, we're not really taking place, we're doing a bit of spectating because even though Season 3 has just hit the floor running, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is actually a mod option. It's called a mod option. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but basically it's a fix, quote unquote, for co-op. This has been something that has been plaguing lobbies over recent months, and of course I've only made the situation worse very intentionally so that a fix comes out sooner. And that's what we've got. And if enough people play this fix, then eventually it actually just gets adapted or adopted by the official game. So let's talk a little bit about what this is. We're going to be focusing on our higher OS players today. Now keep in mind, this is Season 3. There has been a reset for OS, so it means that, you know, I think I was finished off the season, this last season, Season 2, OS 38. I've now dropped down to OS 34. So quite a big drop. And obviously to complement that, there's an increase in your, I think it's like the rank variability. Basically, your ability to go up or go down ranks is a lot. It's increased. So you could drop a lot or you could really go up a lot. That's essentially it. So let's talk about this mod option. What does it do? Well, let me alt tab you to our browser where we can see it's created by Rebel Node. It was active 7 hours ago. He's only just basically come up with it. What does it do? Number one, resources sent to allies are taxed by 30%. If you sent 100 metal, the ally will receive 70 metal. The message will still show as 100. Now, first and foremost, I think this is a great little fix because one of the easy things to do is just transfer resources, right? Like Air Player right here, Red Baron, he's got 300 metal. Hey, let's turn that metal into my lab right here. I just realized we're spectating we're spectating an active game, so people like other spectators in the lobby will see this. So apologies in advance to our spectators. But I love bar too, Papa Smurf TV. So basically it harms that. It doesn't necessarily stop it, it just makes it less viable. It makes it less of a strategy for you to want to do that because you know it's going to get taxed, right? Like I could spend 400 metal on my own things, or I could give it to an ally. Now this is probably still very good to do this, but it just means that strategies are going to have to change because you don't want to get taxed, and if you're getting taxed and your enemy's not, then they've got extra resources. So that's essentially it. That's the first one. I would love if that when you did give metal, they also changed the message to somehow show the metal that you were taxed, just so that it further disincentivizes people. Because, you know, if you send 500 metal to an ally and they're only getting 350, and you see that emphasized on the screen, that's going to be huge. But anyway, let's get into the game a little bit and talk a bit more about this. We've got some high OSs on the front here at this stage from the North team. We've got OS 35, 34, and 27 coming down. Keep in mind, everybody's been D-ranked ever so slightly. Nemo, Nya, and Morovus. Meanwhile, over on the west side, we can see the high OSs over here with the exception of post-lunch break or brick. It could be either one. I've always enjoyed a post-lunch brick. But we got White Seraph over here, the team captain of the blue team, of course, going to be doing his hardest to carry this game. Is quite a bit of an OS difference between them as the commander goes down. So he's already starting to achieve here. Now you can see it looks like these units have been stunned by the shuriken back here, unable to break through. He was trying his best to get in here, but definitely a bit of a favorable 2v1. On the other side, though, we've got my dude who is holding it down here for the moment. Let's talk about the next change, because obviously we've talked about the fact that you can now be taxed. What other changes are there? The next one is that overflown. Is that right? Overflown? Yeah, overflow. I just got a bit confused. Overflowed resources are now taxed at 30%. I like this. This is a really good change. So basically, if this player here was to build a whole bunch of winds, and then this player here was to build a whole bunch of energy converters, he could technically just overflow all of his extra energy into metal. Now, technically, that's not very efficient to do. You'd much rather just send that metal up front, but, you know, there's got to be one guy, I'm looking at you right now, Jag, he's sitting at the back, he's thinking, okay, what if we did this? And now we can't do it, okay? So that's the second thing. So I think that's a pretty smart change. Assisting ally construction is disabled. So as an example, you say, hey, Red Baron, help me build this T2 construction lab. He's not going to be able to do it. By the way, Wolverine keeping the commander here. Nice timing on the T2 lab. Goes for no construction turrets. Yeah, this is what I theorize that this is probably going to be the most viable option now, where basically you keep the commander, but you don't have any construction turrets. Because if we think about it, right, you blow the commander, 1250 metal, construction turrets 230 metal. If you get 2 of them, oh, look at this. Oh, what do we have here? I was waiting for it, and now you get to see it. This is a T2 construction bot that has just been shared with our air player. And as you can see, it's been EMP'd for 30 seconds. And that is because giving economic units, buildings, factories, or builder units to an ally works, but the building unit will be stunned for 30 seconds. This also happens when taking control of a dead ally's economy. And so now there's a 30-second delay on getting this T2 constructor over here. Now, technically there is a way around this, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but it's just one of those little things that it's delaying the co-op. It's delaying the effectiveness of this. By far, the most common strategy that we've seen on many maps is for one player to go to T2 and to hand out T2 constructors to everybody. So now that's going to delay that by 30 seconds. You can see this one here was also recently EMP'd. So there we go. That's our next point. What else have we got? Partly reclaimed wrecks cannot be resurrected. For example, you cannot insert metal into a wreck. Now, I think this is probably something that they're going to have to look at, just because this doesn't really feel intuitive in the same way that the other changes do, but there's a reason why they haven't. If I was to blow my commander right here, and I was to say, hey, Red Baron, can you come and right-click this commander wreck? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reclaim from this mech or this wreck at the same time. So while I'm reclaiming the metal from this wreck, he can put the metal back in because he wants to res it with his res bot. And because of that, they have to do it. This is the easiest fix for the moment, right? It's definitely not a good fix in the long run, because I don't want my commander wreck that's down here on 15 health or 15 metal to not be resurrectable, right? Like, it just basically means you can't blow your commander anymore if you ever intended on keeping him alive. So I definitely think from now on, one of the byproducts of this change will very much be that the commander will stay alive a little bit longer. Now, if you want to play this, a mod option, how do you actually play it? I forgot to mention that. If you just go into a lobby, so right now we're in a lobby, so here you can just easily go in and it's an easy sharing tax, so you just go to advanced options, you'd go over to extras, experimental, and you'd click easy sharing tax right here. We are also playing with the community balance patch, which, by the way, I have contributed to that. I will just say right now, one of the changes that I made is this change right here. The Castro, oh, sorry, that's the Sneaky Pete. Where's the Castro? Yo, where's the Castro? Has anybody got a Castro up? Everyone's just got Sneaky Petes. No one's got Castros. Okay, fine. Never mind. Our change was that the Castro has now got a jamming range. It's basically identical to the Sneaky Pete. It was way too prohibitive to not have... Damn it, it's another Sneaky Pete. Everyone's playing ARM. It just didn't make sense to have them with such different ranges when the commander plus the jammer is just such a potent combo. So I said, you know what, we got to try and make them the same. Anyway, let's check back in on the front line. So you'll see that we've got the Fat Boy marching forward. Now, at any point right here, Wolverine could share this Fat Boy over to his allies, and that is because giving combat units to allies is free and works like normal. So there is nothing stopping you from doing that. We can see the Hephaestus now going to come out and look to transport this. So I assume that Hephaestus is a combat unit, and therefore it also goes over for free. So so far, we've got some pretty good changes. Honestly, I love the feel of all of these changes so far. I haven't actually played a game. This is the first game that I popped in. I literally just saw that this was created. Now I'm like, I gotta make a video. Like, everyone's talking about Season 3. Yo, let's talk about this right now. This is better than Season 3. I'm putting it out there right now. What else have we got in here? We have got giving economic building. Oh, yeah, we've already talked about that one. Partially built units cannot be given except when upgrading mexes and geos. And this right here is a interesting one. So basically, the way that you get around this T2 constructor being ruined or being EMP'd is you would need, so Wolverine, and you need a bit more micro for this, Wolverine needs to send his T2 constructor out here. He needs to then start building this mech. This mech should naturally transfer over to Red Baron, and then after he started it, all of the nanos are then going to assist building that construction because it's his, because disable ally assist is off, and then from there he should be able to transfer the T2 constructor to his ally. It will EMP the T2 constructor, but then he will have started the mechs already, if that makes sense. So you basically got the mechs are started. You have to wait 30 seconds to the next one, but that's essentially the idea as to how you could delay it. And of course, we're always looking for ways to get around to skirt the rules, become the new standard. That's essentially it. So far in this game, we've already seen this. There's some thoughts and implications here as well, if you'd like to pause and have a read through from the creator of this Rebel node. So big shout out to him. He's obviously been a contributor in the Beyond All Reason community for a really long time. I remember back when I originally played Bar, he was the one. If I remember correctly, he's also done it for other games as well, like maybe 0K. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But anyway. Let's check in with the game. We haven't really been talking too much about the game, so it's time to actually talk about the game because, well, this kills a lot of things. And I think this is kind of what people were hoping Season 3 would be, in that there would be changes and it would affect co-op, and there was just, to be honest, nothing. Like, I know people think, like, oh, the fusion change hurt co-op. No, it didn't really. If anything, it made it better. Well, I shouldn't say it made it better, but I mean, yes, it's nice. Oh, we can see. Okay, so he's just transferred it over. I guess that's another thing. If you're transferring construction bots, you can queue up everything for them. Actually, I don't know if you can queue them up and then fly it out, and then you've only got, like, a 20-second delay. But yeah. So yeah, I think the developers realistically for Season 3 obviously wanted to do something big, but when you change everything for everyone, you have to be very certain that you're doing it. One of the great things about a mod option is it's an option. It's a mod that is an option. You can choose. It's obviously it's supported within the game. You can do it. You don't need to download anything. It's all downloaded and already there for you. But that's the great thing about it, is that it's there. It's easy to trial out. There's a whole Discord thread about it. Generally, the feedback has been positive. I should say overwhelmingly the feedback has been positive. So far it's looking good. I know Not Real's gotten on there and given his little bit of feedback as well, and I definitely got to agree. I think that this is something that is probably for the better. But I'm curious what your thoughts are. Are you playing in lobbies where this kind of thing will actually be effective? Do you think that this is going to change the way that co-op is going to play, that it's going to feel? I definitely do think it will. One of the key components that is talked about by the creator of this Rebel node is something that I've actually brought up previously in a recent video, and that is, if we scroll down to the bottom, leaving more mech spots to one player may be viable play, but it does cost the team considerably because you can get those mech spots capped slower. Also, the trickle of metal from mech spots is much slower than funneling metal, for example, big reclaim fields to one player, and that's exactly right. So one of the things that we've been doing is asking our allies, hey, in the rainbow lane, would you mind leaving a couple of mexes for us so that we can come up and so that we can play front as well? And we love doing that. The trouble is that if you do that, as he said, it's going to be capped slower. Right there we see EMP Lars, OS21, taking out the commander of his opponent, despite the fat fact he's OS35. More of us going down here on the front line and with the T2 lab as well. This is really bad here. If I'm a commander right now, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to D-gun this bad boy. I'm not going to mess around here. Huge reclaim field as well. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of becomes acceptable, where Rainbow sort of just... I really wouldn't be surprised if the way that the lanes form here is that you'd have your Canyon player, you'd have the back spot player, and then you'd have like Rainbow playing in this kind of position here, somewhere in this region, and then you'd have then you'd have the tech player that would be covering like along here. That would essentially be it. And then from there, you've then got your next front, and then you've got your yellow player, and then finally you've got pink playing in here. That's honestly the way that I think it will probably go, where Rainbow, because at the moment Rainbow is like literally he has to defend all of this. It's not easy. It's not easy, brother. So you need help. We can definitely help you out. It just also means that our help is largely going to be with T2 units rather than T1 units. So there's a bit of a delay getting out there, and I think everyone could probably agree this is definitely a gap that you don't want to leave open, but probably the gap that you would want to leave open if you had to leave one delayed more than any others. So yeah, I mean, at this stage, game is unfolding interestingly. Azar is out on the front. Fat Boy's out here as well. Second T2 lab now going to be coming up. We've got a lot of T2 labs, and this is another thing that I'm sort of going to have to change with my mindset. Now, this player here could buy T2 units from this player. So when I say buy, I mean send him 2,000 metal and be like, hey, can you make me 5 Sheldons, please? But instead, what we see him doing is building his own T2 lab. And this is supported by the Season 3 changes, because now you've got 600 build power coming into this lab. So even if he just wanted to build this lab with not a whole lot of nanos or construction turrets there, he'd be able to do it. He'd be able to support himself on the front line with T2 units without having to rely on his tech player. So I think these definitely sync together, these changes, and it's definitely a smart move so far. So I'm definitely in agreement. Now, one of the other thoughts that Rebel had is... leaving more reclaim fields to one player may be viable play, but that player would need to have map presence on the, all over the battlefield, which isn't free. And quite often, reclaims fields are only available for a few seconds before the enemy pushes you back from them. So choosing who does the reclaiming could result in the team losing control of the reclaim field and getting nothing. And this is very, very true. It's something that we actually saw previously. There's a player by the name of Fruit that we used to cover on Supreme. I don't think he plays, or at least he's not active anymore. He on Supreme was a Geo player, fellow Geo player. He loved to go for Starlights, and one of the things that he would do is, instead of making like 3 Lazarus and eating trees, he would make 5 Lazarus, and he would eat 3 of them would eat the trees, and 2 of them would go forward to the contested rocks in the middle. And he would just basically look to reclaim the rocks as much as he could. He would then leave those 2 Lazarus at the front, and any reclaim that appeared, he would suck it up like a vacuum cleaner. And I wouldn't be surprised if that is the sort of thing that we start to see players do. We already do that to an extent. We have 3 Lazarus that we build in our Quaker build. We have 3 Lazarus, and they come up, they heal, they repair, they do any assisting that they need to for our Quakers, but one of the things that we use them for is also reclaiming. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw the tech player go into, say, 3 Lazarus and then have 1 over here, 1 over here, and then 1 over here. And then you would just, it would require a lot of, as he said, it would require a lot of presence, both in map presence, but also presence of mind to be out there and actually doing it. It would be very difficult to actually to be doing that and thinking about it. I'll say that right now. I love it. I love the Big Bertha on the front. The Basilica. The Basilica. To me, you'll always be Big Bertha, baby. What a chat. Yeah, what a chat. What a giga chat, bro. The OS 11 dropping the Big Bertha on the front. Oh, you love it, dude. This is so good. Look how far back it hits. The only reason I'm saying this is because we've seen the absolute goats do this and just destroy backlines with it. I'm a little bit worried about his energy, though. He's not doing the best. I would have dropped down this fusion a little bit before the Big Bertha, because it's going to be needing 5,000 energy a shot. And it fires like once every, 10 seconds? Something like that? Once every 13 seconds. There you go. So he's going to need a lot more energy where that came from. Look at this. You think he's compensating for something? Oh, I don't think so, Object 416. I think he's doing exactly what he should be. He's got plenty of space here as well. And this is great because now all of a sudden you're going to force out bubbles from the back line if there's no competent air player. There is. We've got Quedix in the back, a very handsome player. I will say that right now. And he's obviously got an OS mismatch here, but we do have the Red Baron that's on air back here. So he's on 4 fusions already, bro. What? How are you cooking 4 fusions? Dude! Yo, Quedix, we gotta talk, my man. You're on a single fusion. Meanwhile, at the backside, Red Baron's going for his Aphis. Somebody stop Red Baron. He is flying off to new territory, taking plenty of people with him. We also got T3 coming in off... what is this game that we're watching right now? Wolfram going T3 off 2 fusions and 3 pinpointers? Oh my lord, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. You can't be going T3 off 2 fusions. Look how slow it is. Not when they've just nerfed sending metal to people. You know, I in a recent game we saw a player go T3 off 1 fusion, and I made the point that the reason why you don't do it is because your metal income is so low. And immediately as I said that, he got sent like 6,000 metal, and I was like, in my head I was just thinking, you could do that. By the way, what's going on over here? 2 Aphis already and a nuke silo coming in for White Seraph. You want to know one of the ways that you win? You want to know one of the ways that this guy here, OS 49, stays OS 49? It's games like this. Games that have stalled out where he can be the difference. Now, of course, he needed to be the difference early. He was playing against Double Poop on his canyon, or in the canyon, and yet we don't see him pulling out the victory just yet, and that's because he's got a backup plan. 24 seconds later, and our Armageddon will be arriving. Oh, excuse me. I've only just woken up, like, what's the time? 9:44. I woke up like 2 hours ago. Bro, I had the best sleep of my life last night. Wow, that was wild. That was wild. It was the deepest sleep ever. All right, we got the Geo being bombed. Air player coming through. There's not really much of a presence on the bombing side in the north. Quedix going to look to come across here and cover. Bombers are completely isolated from their fighters, and some of them do get picked off. It looks like we've got about a handful of them remaining as the triangles fight against the other triangles, as Nugget would say. That's a shout out once again to my boy Not Real. Oh man, I tell you what. All right, well, this is going to be good because we've got the ghosts inside the base. The ghost is going to be used to EMP. Now, he's got to find the anti-nuke, and that can always be difficult when the enemy doesn't have an anti-nuke, because you can be scratching your head thinking, where is this damn anti-nuke? early LRPC is actually busted if you can get it up. It forces so many bubbles. Yeah, Keller, absolutely right. Because now you've got bubbles coming up here. Well, not really, but like there should be bubbles coming up here. Because a single LRPC shot right here just kills everything. Speaking of LRPC, let's go take a look. Because right now, I mean, the hero of the show, many people would look at the OS 49 player and think that's got to be it. Nah, bro, that ain't it. That ain't it. It's this guy right here. Have we got... Where's he going? Oh, he's gone back. He's going onto his opposing lane. How did it land so short? He was attacking here and it... Oh, there's a rock. Oh, there's a rock. Does it really get that low? I tell you what, he's doing the limbo right now, singing Little John. Is it Little John? Get low, 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 low. All right, take another EMP. Definitely a smart move. Oh, he's going to throw up the decoy fusion reactors. Nya on the front with a very smart move. The decoy fusion reactors will actually block the shots here from the LRPC on the high value target. In this case, going to be that EMP on the back. So very, very nice. What other things have we got to talk about with regard to the changes? Because obviously we've got Mara's coming through here. This is early Mara's, 21 minutes. I feel like it's not really that early, but you got to remember that the whole timing and meta will change based on these changes, right? Like if we're running off a pre-co-op environment, what does that mean? That means that your tech player should be funneled more resources, have more resources. So it means that the timing on this should be earlier. That's essentially it. Look at this double bubble already. So this has already paid for itself right now. The LRPC 4,500 metal and already 2 bubbles out, 3,200, 6,400 with this second one. So it already pays for itself just in the bubbles that it has forced from the enemy. Now, of course, there's going to be the haters that say, well, you know, inevitably when the Ragnarok comes in, these bubbles are going to serve a purpose. Yeah, all right. Calm down. Calm down. There's always that one guy. I know you were thinking about it. Don't say it, all right? Okay. We got nukes potentially coming out. 1 nuke to go. Now, it doesn't actually say nuclear launch detected when you're spectating, which I don't like. Can we find a way? Can we get a mod option for that, please? Let's quickly alt-tab and hope that we don't miss it. Okay. Keep an eye out on it. So, sharing T2 cons is probably still a good strategy with these changes. You just have to initiate the first T2 mechs upgrade before giving the constructor, so your ally can build the mechs while it and the constructor are stunned. Exactly. And then it's still possible to self-D your commander and let your ally reclaim it. This can perhaps be later mitigated with balance changes to make commander self-D less desirable overall. It's already much more disadvantageous with easy tax because you cannot resurrect the com after reclaiming some of it. So it's gone for good if you use this tactic. And I think that's it. Like, you could definitely, you could do that. So I'm not even... I've seen it before where basically this player here goes for T2 as well as this player, mainly because this player here is not necessarily late to get up here, but it can be covered. This spot can be covered, right? If White Seraph needs to, he can cover it. If post lunch break needs to, he can cover it as well. So you can definitely delay getting it up there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the tech player, or I don't want to say it just because things might be getting worse on this map before they get better. I'll talk about it soon as the nuke goes through. Good night, sweet Aphis. Scarlet role-playing as Drongo in the back line, forgetting his anti-nuke, unfortunately. And immediately resigns. Oh, there you go. How does White Seraph win more games? He builds nukes, and he scouts it with the ghost. GG, well played. This game was not going anyway until that specific moment. That specific moment literally broke this game. There was an anti-nuke somewhere in here, but we saw he did it right on the edge of the anti-nuke as well. So it just goes to show you really want to make sure you build your anti-nuke. Second one was coming out. But yeah, okay, I'm going to throw it out here because I'm going to say it right now because I know Jag is going to do it. Jag and his boys will do it. Trotsky. This is what I'm thinking, okay? Jag and Trotsky spawn in on the back line, okay? You've got Trotsky here. He loves to just give away stuff, and Jag here, okay? He literally builds up his whole base, gives it to his ally. Everything is stunned. Then he blows his commander right here and lets Jag eat it. And then Jag is the one that goes and fights front with the units. But what does Trotsky do then? Like, how are you OS 50 and then you don't even have a commander? Like, at least with what they were doing before, you could bring... can I still draw? I can't draw. You could bring the commander up to the front and then fight with the commander and, like, cap maxes as you go. So I was just thinking, like, you could technically blow the commander, but, like, as Rebel Node says, like, I don't even know if you really want to do that, man. Like, it's good. It's good as gone at the moment if you do it. And on top of that, like, what else is he going to do? Like, is it really going to be that good? And I guess at the end of the day, we can only judge well, we can't judge a book by its cover, but we can only judge a strategy based on how successful it is. Obviously, if we don't like it, that's one thing, and we can always look at changing the way the game works to stop it from happening. But at the same time, you know, if it's a good strategy, it might not even be a good strategy. But anyway, it's something to think about. Just essentially 2 players just merging and becoming one super duper tech player. But anyway, we'll leave it there, and we'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.